Well, we have one more stock in top 10, which Sonia referred to. HCL Tech gave us an update of the second quarter numbers. Rima has now taken a good look at them. Rima, how does it compare to the previous guidance they gave?
Well, it's better than the previous guidance. That is the key point. On revenues, they're guiding for a 3.5% plus quarterly growth rate in Q2. Earlier, what the company had said that in Q2, Q3 and Q4, they will see a 1.5 to 2.5% growth, which means at 3.5%, it's much better than the top end of their earlier guidance for the quarter. Secondly, on margins, they're talking about a margin range of 20.5 to 21%. This is also better than the earlier guidance. They'd given us a full year guidance of 19.5 to 20.5% for FY21, so this is better. So both revenue and margin guidance for September quarter is better than what the company had guided at the end of June. Some more statements, they've seen a broad-based momentum across service lines, verticals and geographies. They've seen good order booking momentum this quarter. It's led by life sciences, healthcare, telecom, media and financial services, and the pipeline continues to look healthy. The stock, however, has done well. It's up 27% so far on a year-to-date basis. So its up move is only second to that of Infosys, but it still trades at a valuation discount to Infy as well as TCS. Back to you.
Oh, okay, Rima, thanks a lot for that. Prakash Diwan is joining us now. Prakash, good morning. In fact, I wanted to ask you about some IT stocks. First, of course, there's HCL Tech in news, but your thoughts on Hexaware as well, where there's this delisting going on. 475 is the price which is being spoken about. There's been big move in Coforge as well. So this entire space has looked buzzing. Your thoughts on these three names that I mentioned?
So good morning, Anuj. IT definitely seems to be an area with.
All right, yeah, there's a bit of an echo, so we just go back to Prakash Diwan in a bit.
I think your mic dropped off,
on the IT stocks. Prakash, if my voice is reaching you now, Anuj was asking about the IT stocks. Go ahead.
Sonia, I could hear you, but possibly my voice didn't go through on the other side. So yes, so what I was saying is that while IT is definitely the pocket to watch out for, because with the kind of valuations that we've seen getting stretched on other sectors, especially chemicals, especially pharma, a lot on telecom, there will be this flight to safety kind of a move. And some of the top run stocks like TCS, Infosys, Wipro have actually run up quite a bit. So the next round is definitely going to see a huge absorption of a huge demand coming into the Tech Mahindras and HCL Techs of the world. If you really see, we saw the kind of move Birla Soft and Tata Elxsi and all of them have also made. I wouldn't believe Hexaware has great headwinds in terms of except for this corporate action. There's not much structurally or fundamentally on the operations, which is very encouraging. But yes, it could still have that upside if the price that gets announced is favorable. But if you have to create a basket of IT stocks from all these various segments, I think a Tech Mahindra plus a Tata Elxsi, because these are names that are doing very unique businesses, and maybe something smaller like a Persistent. That's the way to go about it. It's no more a very clear bottom-up kind of a thing, but it's more segmental, more driven by pockets and bunches of excellence. So I would believe there will be a lot of money that comes into IT, but it will probably be more broad-based and not necessarily on the Infy and TCS moves that we've seen. In fact, I could see, I wouldn't be surprised if there's some profit booking that comes through on the large-cap IT names and these mid-tier IT names which actually get accumulated more by institutional managers.
Okay, Prakash, good morning and thank you very much. The big question that people are going to ask you, okay, I think we have the monsoon session. Okay, let's cut into the Prime Minister.
है ना, कोई संकट तो नहीं आया ना आपके परिवार में भी? चलिए, ईश्वर आपको सलामत रखे। एक विशिष्ट वातावरण में संसद का आज प्रारंभ हो रहा है। कोरोना भी है, कर्तव्य भी है और सभी सांसदों ने कर्तव्य का रास्ता चुना है। मैं सभी सांसदों को इस पहल के लिए बधाई देता हूं, अभिनंदन करता हूं और धन्यवाद भी करता हूं। बजट सत्र समय से पहले ही रोकना पड़ा था। इस बार भी दिन में 2 बार, एक बार राज्यसभा, एक बार लोकसभा, समय भी बदलना पड़ा है। सैटरडे संडे भी इस बार कैंसिल कर दिया गया है, लेकिन सभी सदस्यों ने इस बात को भी स्वीकार किया है, स्वागत किया है और कर्तव्य पथ पर आगे बढ़ने का फैसला किया है। इस सत्र में कई महत्वपूर्ण निर्णय होंगे, अनेक विषयों पर चर्चा होगी और हम सबका अनुभव है कि लोकसभा में जितनी ज्यादा चर्चा होती है, जितनी गहन चर्चा होती है, जितनी विविधताओं से भरी चर्चा होती है, उतना सदन को भी, विषय वस्तु को भी और देश को भी बहुत लाभ होता है।
Okay, well, this is a general welcoming of discussions on all topics from opposition parties. We will get our own correspondents. Sapna should be joining us shortly to tell us what are the major bills that will be taken up by this session, the monsoon session of Parliament. That will be more material to the markets. What's material to the markets now is going to be this mid-cap, or rather the multi-cap changes announced by SEBI and the clarification that came on Sunday. Prakash Devan, let me get back to you on that point. We tried to get something from Harsha Upadhyay, the Kotak fund manager as well. Do you think that there could nevertheless be a small cap rally in the days to come? There was one in August. And will that continue willy-nilly? Because, I mean, at least some funds may have to forcibly buy more small caps.
Yes, so Lata, quite possible, out of the 3-4 alternatives that SEBI's clarification talks about as ways, to achieve their announced allocations of 25% into small cap along with 25 to mid and large. I think there could be some funds which might find it more convenient operationally to just go ahead and buy some of these, small cap names, which are qualitatively good, which probably they already have, but the exposure to those has been a bit limited. And remember, the likes of Kotak and all have significant amount of money in this multi-cap category. So for them, the delta is much bigger. What they would need to buy to comply with this 25% is significantly large. So for those kind of schemes and funds, there could be a way out of merging it with a large cap scheme, which is one of the 3-4 alternatives that SEBI has clarified. But for smaller funds, there is a possibility that they would just straight away go ahead and buy some of these small cap names and up the allocations to 25% if it's already close to that. Now, having said that, there's not too many of those that would do it. But my general sense is that there will be an anticipatory move in the small cap from investors that something will happen to comply with this, and there could be a trickle, there could be some sort of a sliver of buying that could come in out of these, as an outcome of these new regulations. And since, remember, the time is still January, so you might see a little bit of this up move in small caps, and some of them are available at decent valuations. So it's not that you completely have a hard stop out there. It's just that the liquidity profile of small caps is a worrisome area for fund managers. I don't think picking good ideas, good businesses is a challenge. It's the ability to be able to exit in open-ended schemes which inhibits their decision. So I would believe there will be a balance. It won't be a straight line. It will be not a shade of white or black. It will be probably somewhere in that grey zone. But yes, there could be, to answer your question very specifically, there could be some buying and preemptive buying in small caps for sure.
I just want to read out a tweet from Sunil Singhania. Number of recommendations for buying mid and small cap stocks received in one day is greater than the sum total received in the last 5 years.
Okay, but you know what? That caution is needed, right, on the table for people to understand that, don't rush and chase any small caps or mid cap stocks right now, because mutual funds are not forced to buy small or mid caps at the moment. So, you may just burn your fingers. But let's do one thing. We will talk about another issue at hand. The CNBC TV18 learns that the Finance Minister will present the first supplementary demands for grants for FY21 today. My colleague Sapna Das has all the details. Sapna, over to you.
Hi, good morning. So this is on expected lines. This is the first batch of, seeking Parliament's nod for additional expenditure in FY21. As we are all aware about the announcements made with respect to COVID, relief measures. So Atmanirbhar Bharat, also within that, the government had announced additional expenditure of around 40,000 crores from Manrega. So I suppose that on both these accounts, the Parliament's nod is likely to be sought. There could be some other items of expenditure like the National Disaster Response Fund. 20,000 odd crores was allocated in the budget. I suppose the government may be looking to seek something additional there. Last but not the least, even in terms of the food subsidy, though I'm not expecting the food subsidy, nod to come up today because there is something still left in the budget. If you look at the CGA numbers, the spend on the food subsidy has not been higher as compared to last year. But down the line, this is going to be a very big ticket item. So maybe not in the first supplementary, but possibly in the winter session of Parliament, they could be seeking additional funds. We're given to understand that in terms of cash spend alone, it will be over 1 lakh crore for food subsidy that the government may require. The rest, of course, they may be financing through FCI loans.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for that, Sapna. Thank you for joining us this morning with the first important item that Parliament will handle at the monsoon session, which is the additional supplementary grants. We will get back to Prakash Diwan in just a minute for more reactions, but we have an important company joining us. Sources tell us that the Maharashtra government is going to meet on the 20th of September to decide further unlocking activities, and among the important ones is a decision to allow dine-in restaurants to operate. That's on the agenda. Anjan Chatterjee, Chairman Managing Director at Specialty Restaurants, joins us now. Anjan, good morning. Thank you very much for joining us. As of now, how many restaurants are open in how many cities?
We are in Calcutta, we are in Bangalore, we are in Delhi, and Maharashtra, as you know, has not been allowed to be open. So we are around in 3 cities, and around 34 of these units are on. And additionally, we have around 14 of the cloud kitchens, which is the delivery first, and the branded cloud kitchens, which we have formed, are on.
This is 34 out of?
Out of around 126.
Okay.
Okay. What about costs? Have your costs increased since, as restaurants increase with the new SOP, you have to prove to customers that you're safe?
Frankly speaking, it's a marginal cost. And going forward, as you know, that the rents have been renegotiated. The staffing has gone down because the number of people you can take inside the restaurant. And I think that's balancing off. And the rents, fortunately, have gone very rational in terms of looking forward and talking to the owners. And the mall owners have been extremely considerate, same with the owners of the real estate, and they understand our pain, and then they're sharing it for a period of, depending on the negotiation, it's 1 year, 1.5 years. So we have a very good, rentals coming in. So that is balancing it out. Plus, we have also tightened our costs. And in cloud kitchens, as you know, which is balancing, and our deliveries have been extremely good. And that's given us a lot of encouragement. So we're going to be doing it under the specialty kitchens. And going forward, there'll be 23 of them, which we have already planned, and they are in the process of execution.
Okay, so Anjan, can you give us a broad idea in the second quarter, how much would costs have gone down compared to year ago, second quarter, and how much are you making with the takeaways and the 34 that are open?
Very difficult to say that at this point of time. The kind of balances and in terms of checks and balances which are going in. So I can only say this to you because our total turnover has gone down drastically, so which is due to COVID. And as they open up, we will be able to talk about this a little better. But at the moment, I can only say this to you that obviously the model is being relooked at. And I think there'll be a balance of restaurants and the branded cloud kitchens under specialty kitchens. So I think that going forward, it will be a very attractive, because, we have to look at it as an opportunity that can we actually look at the whole space differently. And because the reality is that the delivery kitchens and the delivery first kitchens, which are actually coming up with the branded kitchens that we have, like the Mainland China, Asia Kitchen, Sigri, O Calcutta, and many other brands, significantly have shown a growth in delivery. Obviously, people were unable to dine in. And then this trend seems to be continuing because the costs in a delivery kitchen are much, much rational, and there's no rent in that. There's no front of the house. So I think that going forward will be a different kind of a picture.
So for the rest of the restaurants that are still not open for dine-in, what have you heard from the government at the moment? I mean, in terms of a timeline, what are we looking at? And what's the SOP, anything that they have indicated to you?
See, the SOPs are the same. It's by and large similar in all states. And we are a company who followed the global standards, but for the COVID part, which is a new challenge, which we had actually for deliveries also, we did not open it in the beginning, and we took a lot of time to adjust to the kind of things which are going on. And with God's grace, we have been able to do all the things in place much before the SOPs have come. In fact, our SOPs are slightly more stringent. And the opening would be depending on the state government. As Lata said, that 23rd, the government of Maharashtra, we have a chunk, very big chunk of business in Maharashtra, particularly in Bombay, and they are going to be coming out with some policy, and we are looking at the end of the month, it looks like, that they will allow, and then after that will be the bars. We are not very bar-oriented company, we are more of a restaurant-first company, so more food, less bar. So that balancing will come in, and I'm very hopeful that going forward it will be a different picture, and we are also learning, because this is a crisis which needs to be taken to a level that for our advantage, because with God's grace, we have been a debt-free company. I've been stressing on this for a long, long time. We've been asked to balance.
Anjan, God, that actually we are out of time because we also had a huge market news coming in from SEBI. So not able to get much time. Thank you very much for joining us. By the way, you deliver at home in Mumbai?
Yes, we do it. We do it all over. I mean,
thank you. All right. That was just by way of a personal request. Thank you very much.
I know you're a big fan. Yes.
All the very best for joining us, and all the very best for the second half. We are going to take a quick